Welcome everyone, today we are taking a look at the Winco KFP-84 Acero chef knife with the hollow ground edge. You can see this knife has already taken a bit of a beating because I've been trying it out over the past month and I have not been gentle with it. From like chopping up dirt crusted potatoes for my chickens or going through like those large thick rutabaga plants from the family farm, it's good to have a knife that you can use for those tasks where you don't worry about damaging it. In this video I'm going to cover three parts. First I'm going to go over specifications. Second I'm going to do a quick demo of how this knife handles some common produce. And third I'm going to talk about functionality. So let's begin with some measurements. The knife has an overall length of 13.5 inches. The handle length is just over 4 inches and the blade length is 8 1/8 of an inch. The blade width right at the bolster, top to bottom, comes in at 1 3/4 of an inch. The knife weighs 246 grams. It is made of a high carbon stain resistant steel, and we can see we have a nice full tang wrapping around the handle, which is attached with 3 rivets. We're starting off with some onions. Let's see how we do with them. I want to get these nice and fine because I'm going to saute them. 1 red onion left. And that should take care of it. Very smooth with the onions. Okay, next up the carrot. I already went in and peeled it. This is a big one. Large, fat carrot from the family farm. I want my slices rather thin, so I'm going a lot slower than usual. And we're just going to slice this one up instead. Next up, the tomato. I like to use the same technique with an onion. Very nice. With a tomato, you always want to make sure you're slicing and not chopping. If you're chopping, you're going to squish it. So be very gentle and let the weight of the knife do the work. See? Smooth, clean cuts on that tomato skin. On the other hand, watch what happens. If I try and chomp down, I'll squish it. So we don't want to do that. Moving on to functionality. So first off, right off the bat, the balance on this knife is absolutely perfect, which is really rare to see for a knife in this price range. Look at this. Just balancing right here, right at the bolster, perfectly on my index finger. Just spot on. It feels so much better when you have a good balanced knife when you're holding it. It really makes it feel like it weighs a lot less than it actually does. If you're familiar with the KFP-80, Winco's other 8-inch chef knife, you'll see that it has a much flatter profile to its blade. The KFP-84, you'll notice that they made a more pronounced curve near the tip. And this is helpful if you're doing a lot of rocking with the knife. If you're rocking it, having a more pronounced curve will actually let you raise it a little bit higher off of the board. It lets you get better clearance for larger produce. Out of the box, the edge came profiled to about 22 degrees on each side. I recommend reprofiling it to 15 degrees, which is what I did with this knife. It just makes the knife so much better. The edge retention is going to be a lot better. It's going to cut through things a lot smoother. It'll be easier to sharpen. World of difference. Look at that. Edge retention is good, but this metal isn't tempered like you see with the higher end German steel knives. So it's a little bit softer, and you'll feel it as you're cutting with it. It needs more honing. You really should be honing this on a steel every single use. Now the advantage to that is if you're doing a lot of meat work, if you're chopping into bones or things that could potentially chip the blade, a softer metal like this one is going to be a lot less prone to chipping damage. The next aspect I like, look at how nice and thin this tip gets. This is perfect for onions. Also works great for tomatoes, peppers, all those cases where you need that extra precision. Fit and finish wise, it was pretty good out of the box. I did a little bit of touch up to it, some 1200 grit sandpaper just to smooth out this top edge. I also went over the handle and all the metal integration points, and it feels a little bit better now, definitely a noticeable difference. To sum things up, if you're looking for a good general purpose chef knife, something that is not just good for everyday use but can really handle those rougher tasks where you don't want to risk damaging a nicer knife, then this is a perfect choice for that. Definitely one of the best chef knives I've seen under $20. It's right up there with the Winco KFP8. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know below and I will get them answered for you.